What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a Chicago Bulls and Boston Celtics game reaction as the Bulls get absolutely destroyed in the second half of this game, which leads to a blowout loss in the end and a pretty bad return, if I do say so myself. I mean, look, I don't know if many people were actually expecting, wouldn't say expecting, but was happy to see the Bulls return. I'm not sure how many people out there were really like, yes, the Bulls are here, it's time to return. But the Bulls did return, and at the end of the day, they didn't deliver. And look, we versed the best team in the Eastern Conference. We versed the Boston Celtics, who are far and away the best team at the moment, and they're looking like they're going to go on a deep playoff run. All I really wanted today was to be competitive. That's all I could really ask for. Again, we know we are not better than the Boston Celtics. We know that we're a team that wants to be competitive in every game and usually is competitive in every game. And when you don't see that side of the Bulls come out to play in the second half, you get very frustrated. You get very disappointed. And this was the absolute worst way you could come out to a return after the All-Star break. So let's discuss a little bit of that and more in this video. But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Bulls game today, your player of the game. And I asked this question in the live stream, and I'm going to ask it here as well. Where do you see the Bulls finishing after this 26 now game stretch that we have to look forward to? We did lose this game 129 to 112, and again, the first half was really good. Competitive. We did some really good things. Again, Vucevic, I mean, I'm so upset with how we played in the second half, but Vucevic was outstanding in the first half of this game. He had 20 points and 9 rebounds in that half alone. And then obviously you got other guys like Io coming out to play. Drummond and Julian Phillips had some nice easy points in there as well. And we took the lead. We had 62 points in the first half of that game compared to obviously, you know, what we had in the second half. But we just absolutely had a strong first half. And then Boston decided they didn't want to miss a shot anymore. I mean, look, we could say that the Bulls' defense was bad, and yes, it was bad. I mean, the Luke Cornett back-to-back putbacks, miserable, horrible, should never ever happen. But it did, and that really upset me. But when you see Jason Tatum make 3 sidestep threes in a row, like it was nothing, and shooting from that deep, there's not much you could do about that. Jaylen Brown was the same. I mean, how many post entries did he get where he just shot over the defender? We can't do anything about that. And that's a problem for the Bulls. And again, we don't have our 2 power forwards in this team to bring some size to the equation. So again, look, I like Io, I like Alex Caruso. I think they're both terrific defenders, but they are both undersized against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. It is as simple as that. They are undersized. They are obviously not strong enough to compete with those guys, and you can see it firsthand. And they took advantage of that all day long. Now, if we had Patrick Williams and if we had Torrey Craig, maybe something would have been different, but I very much doubt that. But even if it was, we simply could not get the job done because there was just too many mismatches all over the court for Boston compared to the Bulls. I mean, the amount of times I saw Nikola Vucevic guarding Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum is a joke. I don't know who in their right mind thought it was okay for the Bulls to switch 1 through 5 today, but that ended up being a disaster. That ended up making us tumble all the way down, and it really did affect us. Then on the other side of things, you got guys like Io and Caruso getting posted up by Brown and Tatum with little to no double teams to come. I mean, that's a disaster class, and that is what set us up for failure. I want to move over to the second thing as well. Getting away from the hot hand. This was incredibly frustrating. Now, again, I'm going to quickly check this, but Nikola Vucevic had 20 points and 9 rebounds in the first half. We absolutely went with the hot hand, and Boston had no way of stopping it. Porzingis could not guard it. No one else in that Boston team could guard it. Now, I want to quickly take a look at the second half here just to see what Vucevic did average. He ended up having 22 points in this game. So you're telling me the Bulls center, starting center, very good quality center, had a 20 and 9 first half, had a 2-point second half. Really? And look, I get it. In the fourth quarter, Vucevic couldn't buy a bucket to save his life. In the third quarter, he didn't really take that many shots. But the problem is, we didn't go to him when he was hot. Again, the third quarter came out to play. He had 1 shot. Then I didn't see him the whole quarter. He had another shot late on in the third quarter, and that was it. Like, that is just not good enough. Io had a fantastic first half of this game. He comes out in the third quarter. I can't remember a single shot that he took. We went away with the hot hand again. And you'd think the All-Star break would give us a little bit of time to reflect. But why does Billy Donovan persist on this? Why do the players persist on this? DeRozan had an awful game by his own standards. I think we can all admit that. He even got technical fouls. You can clearly tell he was frustrated. Yet we went with him mostly in the second half. That's just not good enough, ladies and gentlemen. Why can't we just go with the hot hand? We don't have the luxury of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on this team, where Jaylen Brown decides, I don't want to shoot anymore. That's okay. We've got Jason Tatum that can go for 30. Or if Jason Tatum has an off night, that's okay. Jaylen Brown could go for 30. We don't have that on this team. We don't. We just don't have that. So the one thing that we need to have is our consistency in going after these guys in the ways that worked. And I get it, they may have made some adjustments. Boston definitely are a team full of adjustments. They play really good defense. But I'm sorry, we didn't try hard enough to get Vucevic involved in the second half. There's a balancing act there. Sure, Boston may have made adjustments, but the Bulls made adjustments in the wrong direction. They didn't go with the hot hand. They didn't even try to get a guy like Vucevic ready and actually put him in positions to score. The closest we got was when Jaylen Brown flopped for an offensive foul. That's the closest we got to Vucevic being in a position to actually score the ball in a good way. It's just not good enough. And that's a big problem for the Bulls. The second and last problem I'm going to talk about today is the bench production. Now, Boston don't have many weaknesses. But if you had to really look at the one weakness they do have, what would that be? I think there's two weaknesses Boston have just from my watching of them. I think they sometimes don't run back in transition enough. And especially when they're playing the Al Horford and Porzingis lineup, I think teams could take advantage of that in transition. And their bench. Their bench depth is just not good. But neither was the Bulls today. And unfortunately, in a game where we needed our bench to step up and really outproduce the Boston Celtics bench, we didn't get that. Pritchard was great. Hauser was great. They had a couple other... Luke Cornett had 10 points on us. Again, their bench wasn't great, but their bench outscored our bench. And I thought if there was any chance we were going to win this game, we needed to outscore their bench, and we didn't do it. Dalen Terry came alive in the fourth quarter. Julian Phillips played a great game. Andre Drummond played a great game, but it just wasn't enough. We didn't have enough bench production to work with, and that hurt us as well. Because let's be honest, we all knew if it was starting five versus starting five, we are not beating the Boston Celtics. We won't even come close. You saw it in the score today. We didn't come close. But if your bench is not even producing at the level that Boston's bench is producing, that is simply put a problem that needs to be figured out. So look, it is what it is. My player of the game is Vucevic, even though he only had a 2-point half. Because I thought he was fantastic in the first half, and I don't think it was all his fault that we went away with him. But what do you think? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.